I'm back and I'm better. What's going on, y'all? It's COLEV. I'm back. I know it's been a minute. It's been a fat minute, but we're back. We're in this piece. We're gonna get some dubs. We got to Unreal probably like over a week ago by this point, and this video is about more than a week ago overdue. But I'm here. We're gonna run some Unreal games. I'm gonna give you some tips along the way of how to get there. It's a lot harder this season, and it's only gonna progressively get harder. If more people join the game, then you know that may change in the future. But let's get some games, man. Let me show you what I can show you, man. Come on. All right, so of course, before we actually get started, we gotta check the shop out. Oh my God, my speakers are loud. Looks like we got nothing. There's been a really bad lack of content in this game, which is obviously not a good thing for longevity. But we're rocking the OG fit season 4. Combined with the OG McLaren. This is a good looking combo, guys. If y'all got this, run it. It's a great combo. But let's go and get us some games. All right, so for the first game of the video, we got Dust Up 2. Now I'm gonna go ahead and open up this video tip wise. If you're trying to get to Unreal, man, you really need to know the maps. If any of y'all, all of y'all that have watched my streams, I've been streaming a little bit more than making videos lately. But everybody that's been watching the streams, y'all know that, oh man, if you do not know the maps, you will find out quickly. Oh, we're getting bumped pretty bad here. All right, that was a little unfortunate, but it's fine. This is the first game of the day, so keep that in mind as I'm making this video. All right, we messed up a little bit right there, but it's fine. Got bumped a little right there. The guy went for that pointless boost. But yeah. So first thing is you really need to learn the new maps. That includes the new maps. You need to get familiar with them as soon as possible. If that means watching videos, watch those videos. But it's almost a guarantee that it's something that you need to do. And if you don't do it, you'll pretty quickly find out that you will not be winning games. That being said, or not that being said, but that is because you will not know the routes. And you know, one important thing about going from champion to Unreal is that routes become like a staple. They become a requirement, and without doing those routes, or without knowing, you know, some of the best routes, at least, you know, a route that's competitive for the most part, you will not move on. Like that's a guarantee. You will lose. So routes, absolutely important. One of the most important things going from champion to Unreal by far. So please learn the maps and then understand the routes. Now if you want to make your own route, do it, but in order to do that, you need to understand the map. So that's kind of why I say, dang, that guy died. Unfortunate. You could have handled the speed. Dang, whoever is first place is absolutely crushing it. I've never heard of that name before, but it looks like they are definitely going to be taking the first place spot. But good for them. Ooh. We'll take second. But yeah, understand the maps, man. Understanding the maps is absolutely key if you're trying to get Unreal. I'm probably Unreal something awful. Like I said, it's been a while since I played after hitting Unreal. Been just dealing with a lot of stuff, but I'm back. I promise you there's going to be more consistent flow of videos from here on out. So we're at 895. I don't know what we were before. My fault. I should have checked that. But we're at 895 right now. That dude, a 208 is absolutely diabolical of a time. So this player has to be insane. They're probably top 10, if anything, because that's a really insane time. So shout out them, man. All right, for the next race of the video, we got Aero Arches 2. So haven't got any new maps yet, but learn the new maps, guys. I think if there's anything if there's any big tip I can give you, it's definitely gonna be that. Understand the maps, man. Understand them as best as possible. Ooh, that could have been really bad. Otherwise, you will feel the consequences. Unreal lobbies are hard, man. They're hard. They're harder than I think they've ever been. I mean, there's only one season, so it's not like there's been a lot to go off of, but getting to Unreal this season is a significant amount harder. And part of that is, you know, players know the maps more. right? The other unfortunate part of that is that there's just less players playing in general. So a lot of the players that are here are players that, you know, really do enjoy the game. So, you know, they're playing the game a lot. It's kind of a natural thing that happens with some games. A little bit unnatural in the sense that this game kind of fell off pretty hard, which is unfortunate. I discussed this a lot on my stream. I think the big problem with the game, at least how they initially marketed it, oh, that was bad, was kind of Rocket League, but racing. Then it just kind of ended up being Rocket League skinned cars as a racing game. So I think, you know, people were upset by that. Nobody, I think, from the Rocket League community necessarily wanted that type of game. So, oh man, unfortunate. So in turn, it kind of hurt the game, you know, in that aspect. I don't know what I'm doing here. So, like I said, pretty unfortunate. One of the keys with this map, a tip I'll give you, just don't hit hazards, and you pretty much win the game. I am hitting every single hazard, which is awful, but it is what it is. All right, use one boost there. Try to get a little momentum. All right, so pretty close right now. We might be ahead on boost, which is pretty nice. Got a nice little boost there as well. Again, biggest thing is just don't hit hazards. So we're just gonna do our best. We're not gonna go for anything crazy. We're just gonna try to really not hit hazards here, and, you know, see what we could do. Just hold the boost. Like I said, we're being a little bit more safe. Want to get 3 boosts, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I probably should just did that cut, but it's fine. Hopefully we get top 2 maybe. Oh, we're not top 2, top 4. There we go. We got top 4 still, but there we go. Top 4. Not the greatest, right? The biggest key, like I said, with that one is hitting hazards, and I hit a ton of hazards. If you're trying to, you know, compete at the highest level, which is unreal, you can't be hitting hazards, man. Like, if you're trying to get to top 200, you can't be hitting hazards. So it's unfortunate, but, you know, it is what it is. Still got top 4 and got a few placements ahead. So let's keep on going. All right, so this is gonna be actually a perfect example of what happens when you don't know the maps. This map I thought was great. I stopped playing for a while. People started learning the maps way more than me, and the difference now in skill between me and a lot of other players that understand this map is substantial. I'm essentially like a diamond in an Unreal lobby in this map specifically. Every map basically becomes a different rank, right? Based on your knowledge of that map. That's probably the best way to put it whenever you get to something like Unreal. That was just my fault there. But yeah, y'all are gonna see just how out of touch with this map that I am. That's one out of touch thing. I went the wrong way. That's my fault. But so this right there, I probably should have just boosted, but it's fine. Again, like I really don't understand this map all the way yet, and that's my fault, right? I mean, all right. So definitely we're over boosted already. I do know one shortcut, which is right here. So that's about the most strat that I have, but yeah, I mean, I'm still getting passed up. Obviously, I haven't used a lot of boost yet, so I probably have, you know, boost advantage to some extent. This might be a good boost here. I don't know for a fact, but we are not in the greatest of places yet. Over here bumping walls, but it just goes to show, man. Without the knowledge of the maps, you will get destroyed. Even if your mechanics are great, you can have awesome mechanics, but ultimately your mechanics won't save you from a lack of knowledge map-wise, right? Oops. That's one thing that people have to be aware of. I flipped the wrong way. That sucks. Oh man, we'll just use another boost here, why not? But yeah, so unfortunate. I wanted this race to be a better test case scenario of how far you can actually get without really knowing the maps. Obviously not dying, that being, you know, one of the factors, but it's fine. You know, what can you do? What can you realistically do? So all I can do is just keep going the best I can here. And you know, top 4 gonna be tough. Is it unlikely? Probably. But you know, we're gonna do what we can here. There we go. That's how you do that shortcut. We got 1 boost left. 7th place. Yeah, not looking too hot here. So yeah, I mean, if I would have died, maybe, or if I wouldn't have died, maybe I would have got 4th place. Again, once you get to Unreal, especially Unreal this season, any mistake is gonna cost you, man. Any mistake is gonna cost you. Especially being in NA East, which is one of the top regions in the world right now as far as players. You know, most players that are in the top 100, top 200 are actually in NA East. So the more competitive region you're going to be, the harder it's going to be. So it will vary depending on where you're from. If you're EU, if you're NA East, NA Central, NA West, etc., etc. I lost, you know, a lot of them are from that. So what it's really going to come down to at the end of the day, getting to Unreal, you know, and that it went for last season as well, but specifically, and you know, I'm iterating it more for this, reiterating it more for this season, is knowing the maps. If you don't know the maps, you will lose, and you won't get to Unreal. You won't be able to get to Unreal. Going from Champion to Unreal, that is one of the hardest things you can do. It's very similar to, you know, trying to go Champ 3 to Grand Champ in Rocket League. So it's a very similar thing. You know, a lot of people are sweating around that range, and unfortunately, since the player count is a lot lower than what it used to be, champion lobbies and even elite lobbies are able to get Unreal players in them, just to be able to fill up the queues so that the queue time isn't extremely long. So yeah, man, so the player base being smaller, it's unfortunate because, you know, the players are going to be better, but also the distribution of who you're actually gonna be going against rank wise is also going to be a lot wider. So which pretty much makes it that much harder for you to get Unreal, you know, with that also being a case scenario, right? So it's pretty unfortunate. So hopefully, you know, Psyonix is able to continue working on the game, adding content, but not just cosmetic content, right? That's only going to go so far. And if you are going to do cosmetic content, I mean, they need to work on doing it to where, you know, players can earn that content rather than everything having to be purchased. But, you know, I know they're a business at the end of the day. They're owned by Epic, so who knows exactly how far that's really gonna get them and what they're actually gonna do with it, or if they're just kind of gonna let the game slowly die, or just, you know, be an add-on. And we'll kind of know that when we start seeing the support slow down. You know, if the support ever diminishes significantly, then I think the rightful assumption will be that they're kind of just looking at Rocket Racing as an addition, not necessarily an asset to Fortnite anymore, which is unfortunate because obviously that means that the development cycles for the game are going to go down significantly, which is not only bad for the game, but obviously bad for the players. So there's only so much we could do, man. Only so much we could do. I gotta figure out how they do that. I don't know if that's like a mag flip thing that they're doing, but pretty sick. They get a lot of speed built up from it. But anyways, yeah, man. So that's kind of my, I guess my tips and my thoughts of the current state of the game. It's unfortunate, because I really do enjoy this game. And I think, you know, for the right person that likes arcade racers, this really is the game. It's really a fun game for sure. But yeah, man, it's just not in the greatest states right now, which is unfortunate, but it's just where it's at. So, ooh, almost messed that up. So third place, that map not very good at either. And you can see the difference, man. You can see the skill gap. There's that jam guy again. It used to be back then when you were Unreal, you would play with low Unreals, and then once you got higher in Unreal, usually it was somewhere around the 600 to 500. You'll get the wide range, so you get all the way to you know, the top 10 players. So now completely different, right? Unreals can play with elites. Yeah, so it makes it harder, man. It makes it harder for elite players because you could be really unlucky and just keep getting Unreal players. They also decrease the amount of MMR that you get per place. So now it's even harder, you know, from a longevity standpoint of playing the game to actually get to Unreal. And I really dislike that because I feel like it's a false sense of accomplishment. Like it's, oh, I made it to Unreal because I was able to play so many games to where I finally just got placed to Unreal, rather than I'm so good at the game, I got to Unreal and nobody else could get there because of the skill. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's like a false sense of progression to me. So something's off about it for sure. And I don't really have a solution to something like that. But I just know that the way it was before was already really bad, but they just made it worse, seemingly just to make it feel like Unreal is this this godlike status, when the reality of it is it's not that difficult, but you're just making it seem like it is because you're making the game feel more grindy. I don't know. So I'm going on tangents, but there's just a lot of stuff that I just dislike about how they're going about the game now. And I mean, you can see it in the player base. The player base is slowly dying. New season, so it's like a little bit higher than what it normally is. This is also one of the brand new maps, by the way. But yeah, I'm gonna maybe start doing what that guy did. Like this map, I like kind of have a strategy. Like I said, for the most part, most of the strategies that I end up doing in this is stuff I just figure out myself. But I forgot my new strategy was actually to hold that boost there. But yeah, also another big thing that I kind of wasn't doing too much, but realized you kind of have to do, is doing the flips, man. Doing the these flips right here, you gain so much distance. It's almost like you are making yourself lose by not doing them. It's actually pretty astonishing how much more distance it gives you, and I wish that was represented by you know, your actual speed counter. But a lot of, you know, mechanics in this game aren't really oh wow, not letting me go to the ground there. A lot of the mechanics in this game aren't really intended mechanics. So it's like, I know for a fact by doing that flip I'm gaining a ton of ground, and you'll see it time and time again after doing it, but that never shows in the actual what do you call it, the actual, Jesus, I'm like focusing so hard. It never shows your actual like speed. So I'm actually doing pretty decent in this map. I will say the two new maps that they just came out with, Python and this one, Seaside Farms or something like that, are definitely, oh man, I messed that up, are definitely some of the best maps, new maps to date that Psyonix has put out. I will say that 100% without a doubt. These maps are good. They feel good. They make sense, and you know that's one of the biggest things is the maps need to make sense. And I feel like as of late, you know, some of the newer maps, they don't really make sense to me, man. But this, like the new one, especially Python. If you haven't played Python yet, play that map, please, because that map is so good. It's so good. All the shortcuts make sense. None of it feels like cheese. You don't feel like you're missing out on, you know, other parts of the map. It all just works super smooth. That is like what you need whenever you're making new maps. There's a lot of maps, and Rivera is one of my favorite maps in the entire game. It's one of the longest maps, which is also why I do enjoy it. But you know, there's a part of Rivera where you are never gonna touch in the high level lobbies, and that goes high level from elite all the way up. You will never touch that right side of the map whenever you're going, you have the shortcut to go over the water. You will never touch that right side. So it almost makes it's like, why is that even there? But in Python, it's like all the shortcuts they make sense to the map, and you're not missing anything from those. And it's cool, bro. It makes it so cool to actually race the map. Whenever you're racing it, everything feels smooth. The parts that you should boost kind of naturally come to you, and they make sense. There's just a bunch of different things, man, that Python does right. Seaside does a lot of things right too, but I think Python specifically, it's just such a good map, dude. It was designed so well. So whoever created that map, kudos to you, brother or brothers. Y'all did a fantastic job. Brothers or sisters? Sisters, brothers, whatever. Okay. Awesome job on that thing. But yeah, I feel like this video, you know, I was kind of I've been kind of ranting a little bit. You know, aside from giving tips, there's not really too many tips I can honestly give you though. A lot of it, again, like I said, is knowing the map. Mechanics, they're gonna come into play too. I think that's already assumed, but man, knowing the map it's so important. And like I really do want to emphasize that this season made it like that, dude. Like, it is so important to understand the maps, just because the players are so much better. Wow, yeah, they gotta fix that. That guy absorbed like all of my momentum. That was like an issue that the game had a long time ago. Thought that was out of the game. Guess not. But yeah, so definitely something that you know, I hope the devs kind of realize. That was really bad, really bad flips. Oh, now we're just in the red. Love that. But yeah, so this right here gonna be the last race of the video. Don't want this video to be crazy, extremely long. And there we go, just me getting pushed. Love that. But yeah, so try to get the dub here. Anaconda. Used to dislike this map, but starting to grow on me. Starting to grow on me. Got a really good start. And that, man, that bump. That guy did that awful drift and just took me with him. That really killed a lot of my momentum. But yeah. Aim for top 4 here. Hopefully we get it. One more boost. One more boost. Oh my god. That's another thing in this game. And I know it's not my controller, because it's never happened to me before. But they 100% changed the release of when you're drifting to going straight and then it boosts. Because I swear it's never happened to me this much before. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. But like when you're say you're going for a chain drift, right? A chain drift. You're drifting on one side, you drift to the other, and then you drift back in the middle to release your boost. Don't start another game, please. The time that it takes for you to go in the middle and then it boost and then being able to go back into another drift has changed completely. And I cannot figure out for the life of me how to get around this. But anyways, that's like a me problem that I need to figure out. But I know for a fact they changed it because I've never had this issue ever. But anyways, guys, there we go. I think we're like 189, 734 Unreal right now. We're gonna keep grinding. Like I said, guys, you know the game has its issues. The player base is slowly decaying, which is unfortunate. We're a little bit higher right now because we're at a new season. Hopefully it stays that way. Hopefully the content comes in slowly. They're dropping maps without it being a season update, which is good. So hopefully they can just continue providing content, man. You know, cosmetic challenges to grind for, a separate rocket racing pass like Rocket League has. Stuff like this. These are just ideas, and I don't know if it'll necessarily bring players back. Again, I really do feel like the majority of the initial players were people from Rocket League that wanted to see, you know, if this really was Rocket League racing. It didn't turn out to be, and I think a lot of the other population that was left over was just, you know, people in Fortnite trying to check out the new game mode. Completely different, right? It's a completely different game mode. Racing games are a more niche market than almost every other game on the platform. So, or not on the platform, but like out of most other genres. So yeah, you see Lego Fortnite is even down for a good amount as well from what it started. I think Lego Fortnite had like 1 million players or something for a while. It dropped down to like 500K. Then, you know, now it's sitting at 63, which is a pretty healthy, that's a pretty healthy player count. A consistent 63K people being online is actually really good. So I mean, if Rocket Racing can somehow get back, or get back up to you know, something like that, I think the future for this game is it's looking good. It's looking good. But currently, you know, around, you know, 8, barely 10K sometimes. It's just not looking too good for the game, but you know, I'm hoping for the best, man. I like to stay optimistic for these type of things. One of my favorite games, Spellbreak, that game did end up dying. Which, that if y'all haven't played that game, or you know, if you haven't heard about it, go look up videos of that game, because man, that game was so fun. It was a magic battle royale game. Like, mechanics were clean. That's a whole other thing. I'm not even getting to that, but yeah. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave me a like down below. Subscribe if you are not subscribed already. There is going to be more content coming. It's going to be some more Fortnite content. It's going to be some Rocket Racing content. It's going to be some Tekken content. I know Tekken has been off for a really long time. I have not played the game in a while, but we're going to get back on that thing. So guys, comment down below too. What other games do y'all play? Let me know what games y'all play, and I can see if I can start playing those games too. Maybe some games I never heard of that are pretty fun. Let me know down in the comments below. Guys, I love y'all. Have a good day or night, whatever time you're watching this video, and I'll see you next time.